blue.
Oh, yes, that's the logo, the That's Entertainment logo. And I'll tell you why in a second, after I say, welcome to That's Entertainment. I'm Kev.
I'm Mike.
You can find us on Facebook.com/TEntertainment, at That Entertains on Twitter.com. See, it's weird now because I don't know if I should look at you lovingly into your eyes or look at the camera lovingly into the computer's eyes.
Make love to the camera.
I'm not going to do that, that's for sure. But you can find us on Twitter.com, at That Entertains. Tweet us. We like to chat, obviously. Me more than you, probably.
We like to slack.
Yes, that is true. You can subscribe us, rate us, review us on iTunes. Just search That's Entertainment, will pop up.
But only leave good reviews.
Yes, only good reviews, because really there's nothing negative about this show. Nothing. We're also, Mike, available on Stitcher, the smarter way to listen to radio on demand. Available on your iOS devices, your Android devices, your BlackBerry devices.
You're racist.
It's even in a... Well, they don't make a Whiteberry phone. That would be racist.
Damn affirmative action.
Plus, it is February, right?
Nice. It's Black History Month.
Everything. It should be Black Tunes. It's to celebrate. No, that doesn't work. Is that going a step in the wrong direction?
Did you ever notice that we gave blacks the shortest month of the year?
I did not notice that, no.
I think that kind of seems a bit unfair.
Maybe a little bit, maybe. But yeah, Stitcher.com. You can go there, you can sign up with your Facebook account. That way it makes it easy to share what you're listening with to your fans and... I mean, I don't know if you're a fan. Your friends, I guess. You can also email us at entertainment@careergamerstudios.com. And if you're watching the video, you can see on the splash screen right there a nice little number to call us at. 267-223-4965. Leave a voicemail. We'll play it on air. Maybe. I don't know.
If we like you.
If it's good. Oh, and most importantly, we forgot the whale of networks, Mike.
The whale of a network?
The whale of the network.
The blubbery network?
The blubbery network. We're available on them, blubbery.com. So we're trying a bunch of new things this week, Mike.
All to varying effects.
All to varying effects. We are... Where'd you go?
I disappeared.
We're trying a bunch of new things. Obviously, we're trying to incorporate video. Not live. We're not there yet. But we're going to incorporate video onto the YouTube channel. I'm not quite sure if we're going to throw it on the Mad D'Angelo channel and then put it on a playlist on Crude Humor Studios. Ultimately, you could be able to watch it on youtube.com/Crude Humor Studios. But also maybe on Mad D'Angelo's channel.
If you just put it on Crude Humor, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to yank it. I'm going to steal it. Except that part, I'm cutting that part out.
I don't know what happened. I suckled on some air.
It is entertainment. It's true. Yeah, you guzzle that.
Oh, God.
And the host is going to transfer to me from now on. So anyway, after the blubbery network and Stitcher and all that.
So what'd you do this weekend, Mike?
This weekend we went to the circus. We went to Barnum Bailey's, their Built to Amaze tour.
Now, does the circus come around every year still?
Yeah, actually they have 3 different tours.
Really?
Yeah, they have like a red, a yellow, and a blue tour. We went to like the yellow tour. I think their red tour is like their traditional like clowns and animal stuff. This Built to Amaze was more Cirque du Soleil.
Okay.
And the other one is called Dragons, and it's more high octane, maybe? I don't know, I can't really say because I haven't gone there, but the video for Dragons looks really cool. We actually might, within like the next month or two, try and head down to Maryland and try and see if we can pick that up, because they're not coming around here for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to go to the circus when Trey's older. The classic one, though.
The one that we saw yesterday, there wasn't too many boring parts, but I mean, I wouldn't bring your kid there until he was at least like 6 or 7.
I guess that they do have to vary up just the normal, like, clowns and elephants doing dancing.
Yeah, I mean, they had the elephants, they had the
while.
lions and stuff, but this one, like I said, was more like Cirque du Soleil. Like, they had, you know, like the trampoline stuff, they had the trapeze artists, they had the...
Did you see Dick Grayson?
No, but they had a family that could have been Dick.
Really?
Yeah, it was
the
like
Graysons?
It was like
the flying Graysons?
It didn't do like traditional trapeze, it was like the tightrope.
Okay.
They had like one guy who did like his own like solo trapeze stuff, which was pretty cool. But the tightrope walkers, I'm almost sure it was like a family. It was like 4 brothers and a sister, and they did some pretty cool stuff where like it was 2 guys on a bike and the girl like got onto a tightrope in between them and sat on a chair on that tightrope and then stood up. It was pretty impressive. So like I said, more like Cirque du Soleil type stuff.
Yeah.
No traditional clowns. It was more like clowns in like construction worker outfits and stuff like that because it was built to a maze.
Oh,
that was
okay.
the whole. They were building a circus.
Ah, so there was a theme.
Yeah, there was a story.
So, like, do they do a different story every year?
Like I said, there's 3 different tours, and I think they might change it up like every year. But yeah, I mean, each different circus tour I think has its own story, and like I'm pretty sure it's different troops as well. It's not like the same troop doing each tour. So there's probably 3 Barnum and Bailey troops going around.
That's interesting. I'm excited to go to the circus. It's been literally since I was a child.
Yeah.
It was the last time I went.
I mean, when I went was probably 6 years ago now, and that circus experience was kind of like meh. But this one was really fun. Like I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be.
And I got 8 free chicken nuggets out of the deal.
80?
8.
Oh, I was gonna say 80.
80 free chicken nuggets. I'll go tonight.
I know. So what, did they just like handed you McNuggets as you walked in?
No. You can use your circus ticket to get 8 Chick-fil-A nuggets.
The good nuggets too, not McNuggets. The good nuggets.
I like McNuggets better.
You know, I used to hate McNuggets. I used to get the chicken selects over the McNugget. But I don't know if it's because I'm just fat now and I'll eat anything that's edible.
I think they changed their chicken nuggets. It used to be
good.
It used to be like everything, and now it's just white meat.
Yeah, it's tasty. I like. They actually came out with a buffalo sauce that you can dip that in. So that and the ranch, like you just kind of double dip.
What do you think of the fish McBites?
We'll never get them.
That sounds like the grossest thing ever to me.
It sounds like a failed McLovin. I went and saw the new Die Hard movie this weekend.
I heard it was terrible.
I disagree.
Did you?
Yeah, it's not. It was weird because of the son. But if you look, there's a common theme, at least with the last 2. The first 3, I would have to go back and kind of rewatch, but Die Hard 4, which I think personally was the worst one because it wasn't rated R. It didn't, from what I remember, it wasn't very Die Hard-ish.
Yeah.
This, right off the bat, is Die Hard. You know, it's John McClane being John McClane. And, you know, just doing his little banter to himself and you know, being him. Like, the R rating is John McClane. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think... Did you see the 4th one?
No, I haven't seen any of them past the first one.
You're doing yourself a disservice, sir. Because they're all good. Actually, I shouldn't say the 4th one's the worst one. But I think the 2nd one's the worst one. But the 4th one, it was not... I don't think it was as good as this one. The 4th one was kind of about the daughter, him and his daughter rekindling their relationship, and this one was him and his son. I'm assuming if they really do a 6th Die Hard, it's gonna be him and his. No, it's probably gonna be. I would imagine him and his wife because you haven't seen
the wife since
the ex-wife, or I assume they're divorced. You haven't seen her since I think she was in the 2nd one. The 1st and 2nd one. I don't know that she was in the 3rd one. I know she wasn't in the 4th or this new one.
Okay.
So that's the natural progression I see in this 2nd trilogy that they're coming out. It could also be almost the passing of the torch, and having a new John McClane, without tarnishing or rebooting the series.
Yeah.
I can see it happening, depending on if they do a 6th movie and if the son's involved. as much as he was in this one.
See, from what I heard, the 5th movie performed very poorly. It just barely finished higher than a repeat of last week, which was that Identity Thief movie.
I think that's the. I don't know if it wasn't marketed well. I don't know if people are just kind of tired of seeing, because Bruce Willis is in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, you put not Bruce Willis necessarily, but you put John McClane in anything, and it's going to make the movie better. Like, what is the worst movie you've ever seen?
What was it? Pride and Prejudice.
You put John McClane in that movie, I guarantee you it's a better movie.
It's
might not
better.
be good. It might not be good, but it's a better movie. But yeah, so I enjoyed it.
It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. I saw that movie, what was it, The Box? The one with, it was Scott Marsden and Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, and they pressed a button or something.
I don't think that movie knew it was a movie.
I saw it. I don't remember it.
It's probably a good thing. I remember those two were in it.
Yeah, they exist as actors. Barely in that movie. Oh, sorry.
You're dying left and right on this show.
I have to clear out mucus.
Sure mucus.
Now, as always, we do some news headlines on this show.
We're trying to clean it up a bit.
So we're trying to clean it up a little bit. I pulled more news than normal. But this is all stuff we would have talked about.
Probably.
I feel like we would have talked about this regardless.
And if we wouldn't have talked about it on the show, we would have talked about it anyway.
Yes.
So.
And I don't know if you brought anything with you to talk about.
Just my sexy self.
But did you? I sent you the article about the Montana TV station.
Yeah, about how someone hacked in and.
Speaking of hacking in, first of all, awesome hack is like people called the police stations out there. It's like zombies. I think it was just. They didn't take over the screen. They just took over the
website,
the audio. No, just the audio on like whatever station it was. It was like the emergency broadcast station out there, and said that I think the audio is out there somewhere. I should have pulled it for this. The one thing I didn't pull, god damn it. But it's someone saying, we repeat the dead have risen.
So it was basically the Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. It was like just a kind of like a little monologue there. Don't approach them. Don't attack them. Blah blah blah. They're dangerous. People were calling. People fell for it. And it was fun. But speaking of hacking, did you know Burger King's Twitter account got hacked?
No, I did not.
I found this story fascinating last night. Sometime yesterday, their Twitter account got hacked. And it was changed to the McDonald's logo and like a Big Mac in the background.
So it looked like they got sold or something.
And the dude said we were sold, or the hacker said, Burger King sold to McDonald's. McDonald's buys out Burger King because, and like showed someone shooting heroin up in a bathroom or something, and just hacked it and just go on saying that they were sold and posted all about McDonald's basically. And McDonald's did come out and say, it wasn't awesome. We do feel really bad. Blah blah blah. Like no, it shouldn't happen. But like Burger King didn't say anything. Like I don't think they've officially said anything yet.
They haven't redacted the maybe they think acknowledging it at all is. But
I think in today's day and age, you got to just even because you still have your Twitter account, just hop on and say this official statement from Burger. We've been hacked.
I would just come out and say McDonald's wishes. Because Twitter is, you go to that place to be a little bit intelligent or, witty. You can't just come out and be like, no guys, we were hacked. You gotta come out there and be a little bit more.
But I think as a company, they still had to come out in some fashion and just say, hey, just FYI, we're hacked. We're doing everything we can to take control. Rest assured. Burger King does not have...
You will still be able to get onion rings with your meals.
Employees don't shoot up in our bathrooms, that's not a thing.
I don't understand why, just because Burger King ended up getting bought out by McDonald's, someone would be shooting up heroin in the bathroom.
I think that's why they got sold. I think that was the hacker story.
Gotcha.
That's completely has nothing to do with entertainment. I didn't even pull that story. I said the word hack and boom, 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 boom. My synapses were firing.
Well, the problem is you just have one line of synapses. It's not like the web that most people have. You just have a train, and you have to follow the progression.
I'm barely above zombie.
Yeah, when you heard that Montana, or wherever it was, that they got hacked and it was like the zombie thing, you were like, home.
No.
Someone who will understand me.
So the Shield TV program has wrapped about a week ago, and so Joss Whedon updated
Is it just
everyone.
the pilot episode, or is it the entire
Just the
series?
pilot episode that's been done. All newcomers to the whole Marvel Avengers world, except for Clark Gregg, who Agent Coulson, who somehow is still alive, or I don't know. Obviously, they're gonna be tight-lipped about it until
Yeah, it could be a prequel, but I think they're saying that it's a sequel, right?
It takes place in the Avengers world. I believe it's supposed to be. If you got the Avengers Blu-ray, or maybe even on the DVD, there was that. It was item 47 or something like that, and it's about these two people that find a gun, and it's it's New York City and the world, this post-Avengers world where, aliens are among us, superheroes are among us, and these two people find a gun that's from that S.H.I.E.L.D. forgot to clean up. And from what I've read before, it sounds like that's what this is like it takes place in a post-Avengers world where there's, the world's not so small anymore.
Yeah. It's more...
Or it's not so big. The world's not, the universe isn't so small, so everything is opened up now. But Joss Whedon said that it's not about, and I always thought S.H.I.E.L.D. would be it would be like Law and Order except with superheroes. But apparently it's going to be not necessarily about crime. It's not going to be necessarily about superheroes. It's a character study on these characters.
Did you see the spoiler? Since we are a spoiler show, did you see the spoiler for the Nicholas Sparks movie that came out this past weekend or whatever it was? I can't even remember. Safe Haven.
Yeah.
Maybe they're doing with Agent Phil Coulson what they did with Cobie Smulders' character in that movie.
She was in that movie?
She was in that movie.
Really?
Yeah. Here's the big spoiler. She was dead the whole time. She Bruce Willis that shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually heard, Jen went to go see it. I heard it was really good.
Yeah, apparently they don't explain, throughout the movie at all that's, the point. It's at the very last moment they're like, oh, by the way, she's dead. It has no... you can't watch it from the beginning and be like, oh, I see why they were doing that. There's no transcendence for why she was there except for, the payoff at the end. Hey, by the way, I'm a ghost. Oh, is that person alive? No, she's not. Wow, I've been talking to her this whole time. Oh, wow. So maybe they're doing that with Agent Coulson.
It's
maybe.
6 cents, too.
Yeah, 7th sense.
7 cents.
It's I just lost $10.50.
There was a rumor that he would become the Vision. They would take his aura or whatever and his soul or whatever and put it in a machine, and he would become the Vision.
So I guess he would just be providing us voice.
Yeah. But now Clark Gregg, I guess, doesn't have big movie prospects out there.
Not yet. He's awesome.
Because I think he's going to be a series regular in this show.
In the show, yeah.
Cobie Smulders, Joss Whedon said that when her schedule allows it, she'll make a guest appearance. Same with Samuel L. Jackson. So.
Yeah, it sounds like when they get a chance, they're going to put these other big actors in it.
And that's great. How awesome would it be to see RDJ just show up? Even and it's not like he's going to take a lot out of it. He can find time to find 4 to 8, even if it's an 8-hour day. Yeah. Come and shoot one scene.
Absolutely.
And all these Avengers actors, and I'm sure you might have to pay him, but it would bring in ratings, I think.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think if this show succeeds, not only does it really show that, it shows that our world has finally accepted this culture, and then I'm sure that Joss Whedon is doing it in such a way that it's not so nerd, necessarily, where you have to be in the end to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be open to a wider audience, and that's why it's not superhero heavy, and that's why it's not necessarily just about crime and whatnot. So
yeah, well, I feel like it's going to bridge the gap.
Yeah,
and I think that's what we need.
I hope it does what Walking Dead. I think is a great success story as far as what it did for the zombie genre, as far as giving it some legitimacy, and because it's a character study. It's an awesome. It's not about zombies. It's about the a group of survivors. So I'm hoping that's what this turns into. It's a character study, not a superhero show.
No.
But that wrapped. Peter Dinklage, who I know you're a fan of, or you know
Well, it
of.
sounds like he's going to be joining as Puck.
The last I read, which was on the 13th, that was a rumor before the 13th. He's going to be a villain.
Puck could be a villain.
But they said that he's not going to be... I don't think Puck was a... I think he was part of
he was like Weapon X or something, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't Weapon X, but he was part of... Like, he's like a part of the Canadian X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good guy. But it sounds like... And they didn't give a character name, I don't think. But he joins the cast of Days of Future Past, which I just saw a picture that Bryan Singer posted on
the 2
Twitter.
wheelchairs.
The 2 wheelchairs, which is awesome. Like, this is like a nerd fantasy movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're gonna have a raging nerdgasm.
It really is going to be.
Now, hopefully it's good.
And that's like not that Bryan Singer never dropped the ball. All of the movies, X-Men movies, he directed.
Yeah, they were always really good.
The third one fell flat. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, it didn't fall flat. It was messy.
Yeah.
And I feel like the same could be said for the Wolverine's origin movie.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the most outrageous of all the X-Men movies.
Mm-hmm.
Or not outrageous.
It's kind of out of the loop.
It's just not right.
Yeah.
I'll still watch it. But I don't think it's part of canon.
Yeah, it doesn't even feel like it's in the same universe.
Now, the Wolverine movie takes place after X3.
The new one that's coming out.
Yes. So he goes to Japan. Apparently, he's just like so broken up about what happened in the events of X3.
So they're considering X3 canon for the
I think what they're considering canon is him killing the Phoenix. Which the Phoenix has died before. So that part of it, I think, which is fine. Like so they're putting some of X3 into canon for the Wolverine, and I think it's mainly the death of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with.
For Days of Future Past, I hope that Singer fixes his mistake with X2. I hope he brings Cyclops back. I know we haven't heard anything about Scott Marsden yet. But,
no.
Or it's not Scott Marsden. I don't think it is. It's
Scott. No.
Jason Marsden?
Yes.
I always say Scott because it's Scott Summers.
Yes, that's why. No, he, I don't know if he's in it yet. But
practically everybody else, with the exception of maybe Halle Berry, has signed up for it, right?
Pretty much
I think
everyone.
Alan Cumming is on the table as well, and I don't think we've heard anything from Kelsey Grammer either.
No, and that would be flippin' awesome. But his character is also in that storyline. His character is dead in the future.
Oh, that's true.
So we may not see a older Beast appear, but I'm fine with that. That's basically all the important nerd news. I want to get to what I consider a great new feature of That's Entertainment called Coming Soon. I guess we really need to. We needed like a cool little Coming Soon splash that just goes. That's the wrong sound effect for this segment. However,
it's the right sound effect for this segment.
I guess so. So what we're doing is, and we kind of discussed this, is we kind of wanted to do a podcast back in the day, a video cast, where it would be you and a mutual friend, or acquaintance. We're going to co-host a 20-minute show basically that was going to be trailers for the week. And basically talk about them, review them, and whatnot. Mm. So we're kind of mixing that with our version of that, which is, we're going to talk a movie that's coming out, a video game that's coming out, and a book that's coming out. Mm-hmm. So, that being said, I don't know if you watched any of the trailers or anything.
I don't believe I did.
But let's watch the Snitch trailer. Snitch is starring Dwayne Johnson, Susan Sarandon. Sarandon. And Shane from The Walking Dead is in it. And I think...
Who's it, Jason Barenthal?
John Barenthal. And that's who I'm excited for in this movie. It looks really good. I think he's the reason. So let's watch that. Let's just do it here, right there. And just do some of that.
Get down! On the ground! I'm not a drug dealer, Dad. Believe me, right?
Of course I believe you. This is a federal case. The mandatory minimum laws are very simple. Jason is facing 10 years in prison.
10 years?
We need your son to help us make arrests before we can help him reduce his sentence.
What if I did it for him? What if I helped you make arrests?
How far would you go to save your son?
I'm gonna get you out of here.
How?
By doing a drug deal.
Rebel.
When you work for us, you will be treated like family. This, of course, includes your wife and your child.
What happens when everyone finds out you're an informant? They gotta come after our families, John.
There is no way I'm gonna let either side dictate our fates. No way.
Every move that I make, Jason will have to live with for the next 10 years of his life.
And what if you don't live?
Trust me.
Snitch, rated PG-13. February 22nd.
I think it looks good.
It looks pretty good. You know what? I didn't even give it a second look because, there's a lot of Rock movies coming out soon. G.I. Joe looked really good, but there was another one that he's in with Mark Wahlberg that looks so awful. It's like a bodybuilder movie.
Oh,
did you see the trailer for that one?
I think so. Isn't it like they're in jail? Like they were in jail, or like
something like that. But it's all about like getting juiced and ripped and everything like that. And I felt a little gayer for having watched the trailer.
I did see that trailer. I haven't seen it in a long time. I can't give it a fair synopsis, but I think this movie looks good.
Yeah, this one looks pretty good.
Huge fan. I think Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. I think a lot of his movies he's done, he's actually a phenomenal actor.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. At least what's getting like the WWE actors on camera. You know, like,
yeah.
Without his success, none of those other movies would have happened.
Every time John Cena is in a movie, he's counterproductive to that.
It's true.
And I don't.
Stone Cold is like the nice in between.
He is. He's right in between of success and fail. And The Rock is back. He's like WWE champion right now.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's weird. Like,
and I hear a lot of people hate that.
I don't know because I don't know what's going on I mean, I'm sure he's The Rock. That's why he's the champion right now.
It seems like the reason that a lot of people have, like grief with that idea is that sometimes he's not going to be able to be there. So, I mean, there were weeks in the past couple of, I guess, weeks or months where he's the champion and he's not showing up on the show. Yeah,
see, I'm not sure how that whole thing's going down, but I'm glad that he's back in wrestling. I don't know if he should necessarily be the champion, but I'm glad that he's, because that's where he comes from, and he abandoned that, and that was my biggest gripe with The Rock.
I don't really think he abandoned it. I don't think it was like, hey Vince, fuck you, I'm leaving. I'm pretty sure it was an understanding that, hey, I'm gonna, pursue another of my passions.
But it always felt like he used wrestling, and that's what a lot of the boys in the back said. It felt like he used wrestling to get to acting. Now, he's, I think, made up for it because he is a wonderful actor. I think he's like there is this movie that I watched before I had a son called I think The Tooth Fairy he was in. No, that's The Tooth Fairy, not that one.
You talking about the one where his daughter?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember what that one's called, but
that one. I forget. He was a football player and he didn't know his daughter or something, and
he ended up eating the cookies with the cinnamon or something. I'm
allergic to cinnamon. Yeah. And then she's allergic to peanut butter or something at the end, and it's just like this, it tugs at the little heartstrings at the end there.
Especially because you have a kid now, you can relate.
Yeah, but even then, I don't have a kid, so. There's very few Rock movies that I've seen that I'm like, this is fucking dog shit. I think every movie I've seen with The Rock, I've actually really enjoyed.
Yeah, I'm in pretty much the same boat.
So it's wonderful
but that
seeing
weightlifting movie. I don't know if I can get behind that.
And like I said, John Berthenel is I think a wonderful actor. It's cool to see him transitioning.
I didn't see him in the trailer.
He was the one that said they're going to come after you if they find out you're an informant. They're not. I don't think he has a huge role, but it's cool to see him with someone like The Rock, who's, I want to say, huge movie star, but a pretty big movie star.
He's getting there. I'm pretty sure. There. I mean, you've got your big action stars who are, your Stallone. I wouldn't even say Schwarzenegger anymore, but Stallone,
Willis,
and I feel like The Rock is up there.
He's getting up there. If he's not, I mean, and he does the things. He also does the other roles that aren't action, which is cool.
Yep.
So that's our movie that's coming soon. I had picked the video game, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
Yeah, that's this week's release. I really hadn't had too much time to look at it yet, but it's basically like the one sub character from the Metal Gear series. It's Raiden. Going around being like a cybernetic ninja, basically.
And let's play that one because I'm somewhat familiar with Metal Gear, I think, and well, I think this one's like a 4-minute trailer too, so I might cut it short.
This game has not yet been rated.
Yeah.
After the Patriots, I thought I could walk off the battlefield and into a normal life.
A country plagued with civil war entrusts its fate and the life of its leader to a man reborn as a machine.
I was born with the wrong sign in the wrong house with the wrong ascendancy. I took the wrong road that led to the wrong tendencies. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time for the wrong reason and the wrong ride on the wrong day at the wrong week. I used the wrong method with the wrong technique.
I don't care. Very good. Wasn't that like a stealthy, like... Oh yeah, it was a stealthy.
In a world of asymmetric war, where you don't know who you're fighting,
Very samurai.
it's hard to know what you're fighting for. After the fall of the Sons of the Patriots, cyborg technology runs rampant and information flows freely. But the truth is lost on those who refuse to see.
They have a little bit of a agree with making the bloody games.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And we cut that trailer short because it goes on for like I think 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It looks good. I mean, I probably won't play it, but
you have to be a huge Metal Gear fan, and you also have to dedicate your time to understanding if they're going to go the same route as Konami. It's going to be a very cinematic experience, which means that you're going to be playing for 5 minutes and watching a movie for 10 minutes. Like, that was one of the reasons that I gave up Metal Gear Solid 4. I couldn't play through it knowing that more than half of what I was doing was dictated by an interactive movie.
Yeah.
So I never went all the way through it.
2 quick things before we go on to our Once Upon a Time portion of the show. One, the Coming Soon book, featured by That's Entertainment, is actually a book I think you probably know more about than me. I just kind of pulled it. This is the reason I pulled it. Is R.A. Salvatore's book 4 in the Neverwinter saga, The Last Threshold. Have you been read this saga?
The last book that I read, and I don't even remember for sure if I read it or if I was just perusing through it, was basically like introducing like the wizard plague or whatever it was. So anyone who had magic was basically wiped off the planet, and they were trying to. It was when their like 4th rule set came about, and they were trying to restructure everything. When they do that, they restructure their books as well.
Oh, really?
So everything kind of fell apart. Like Drist lost everyone; he lost all his best friends and everything, and they were kind of starting to slowly weed out all the other characters. So most of what you're reading now in these books, from what I gathered, was it's new characters with the exception of him and his arch enemy.
Gotcha.
So I haven't been able to catch up on it because I've been doing so much my own book that I don't have the time. And it's unfortunate because R.A. Salvatore is what basically got me. Like, he's who got me into writing in the first place. I doubt if I hadn't been reading the Thousand Orcs, the book that I started with, I doubt that I would have started writing.
It's I've never really read R.A. Salvatore. I probably would get into it. I too don't have time to read, and I enjoy reading. Like, I'm a big fan of autobiographies and biographies, and a lot of the Dan Brown stuff already. And there's actually, and that will be featured in a couple of weeks. There's a new Robert Langdon book coming out.
Interesting.
So, little tease for you out there in Radioland. Now we're also doing a little thing called Kickstarter Project of the Week. We were only going to do one, but I found the one I found was just far too cool not to talk about for me. But we are going to talk about yours first. What do you know about Whispering Willows?
You kind of threw this at me last minute today. I was like, what? What the fuck? This Whispering Willows game, I mean, it looks... I specifically, when I'm going on Kickstarter, I don't really go on to much of the other stuff, but I focus on games.
Yeah.
And on the games, I happened upon like that Brotherwise project just on happenstance at the time.
Which the interview is now posted on tzone.net.
On the other hand, I go specifically looking for indie gamers to support, and to see if like there's like the next big indie game that I can enjoy. Like I found Spud's Quest on there, and I knew about Spud's Quest ahead of time just from perusing around the internet. But when I actually saw that on there, it was a good surprise. But every now and then you get a decent indie game by like a one-person team. This game is kind of, from what it strikes me, I didn't have a lot of time to investigate it, but it has like that indie game kind of feel, but it's closer to an actual developer budget. I think they're aiming for like 15,000 or something, and it seems like they're going to hit their goal. But it strikes me as like that old like Super NES style game where it's going to be like a horror puzzle, and it'll be. Some people will think it's gimmicky, but other people will think, hey, it's got some intriguing ideas, and it's not just your cookie cutter mold of the week kind of game that you play on all the consoles now. Yeah. So that's what intrigues me about it.
What we're going to do is we're going to actually post that video to watch on the website because I want to get to owe it. Mine is go support that, and hopefully I don't know if you're working on getting an interview with him or not.
See, I'm not sure if that's going to be one of the interviews that I go to pursue because, like I said, he's not very indie from what it struck me as.
He looks very indie if you watch the video. I don't know if you watched the video.
Like I said, I didn't think he was a one-person team.
He's not a one-person team, but he's still. I think it's like an indie firm.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it a little bit more as time goes. But
yeah, it's called Maestro.
I think it's Maestro.
Maestro?
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's Maestro, the 3D mouse that you wear as like a little fingertip.
It looks like a ring almost.
Basically. Yeah, like a weird futuristic ring, and like you use it to point. It's a cool mouse. It's your cursor, your clicks are right there, so that way you can type and still use the mouse if you need to.
I mean, it's a very good idea if it works, and that's what, like when I was telling you, like I'm cautiously optimistic about those kind of things.
Yeah.
If it works, it will revolutionize the way a lot of people use input to their computer.
I don't know. It'd probably not be for gamers.
Well, he even said it's perfect for gaming.
Really?
Yeah, in his video, the problem is, and I understand, with a device like that, you're not physically seeing where it's going. So the only way that you could do that is if you added like some kind of like laser pointer to it. Yeah. And even then, you run into some problems where it affects what you're seeing on the screen and stuff like that. But I mean, if you're looking at like Kinect, you don't have any device.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I like it. And though I can already see in my head, I don't know if I'm the market for it because I'm very old school in my ways of anything with gaming and like I don't like change.
Yeah,
I'm becoming that guy that doesn't like change when it comes to technology. Like I see Windows 8 and I say, "Curse you, Microsoft."
Well, Windows 8 isn't just change. Windows 8 is garbage.
But so that's we'll post a link to both those Kickstarters in the feed so you can watch the video, read up on it, and pledge if you want. Even it's just $1 helps. So pledge to both of them. But that being said, we're gonna leave the world of reality, Mike.
And we're gonna take a brief recess so I can piss.
We're gonna take a brief recess of magical qualities.
I don't know if I would call it magical. I'll let you know how it gets.
I guess we're taking a brief recess for real.
It was magical. I saw unicorns and gnomes and even a dragon.
I had a conversation with myself right there.
Were you like, hey Kev, how you doing? Oh, I'm good, Kev. Just a little bored. Mike left me.
Are you eating one of those old people candies?
I am. I've got the taste of old macaroni in my mouth, so I figured butterscotch might help.
Magic is here. You can find us on Facebook.com/GEntertainment. You can tweet us at @ThatEntertains. It is available on iTunes. Just search it. Search Once Upon a Time. We should pop up. We're also available on Radio On Demand, Stitcher.com. Sign up with your Facebook account. You'll be able to share with your friends what you're listening to, and you should be listening to That's Entertainment and It. One or the other. Eat both. Whatever you want.
Everything!
This week's episode of Once Upon a Time was entitled Manhattan. It was the 14th episode of Season 2. And, as always, I defer to Mike to give me his thoughts about this week's episode. Dude, I could not agree more. It was, by far, it's
probably the worst episode of Season 2. Right?
Worst episode of Season 2. Like, everything was predictable. Mm-hmm. Everything. We called it, well, you called it, but it was Neil.
I think you and I, and a lot of the fans who predict these kind of things, we're not the core audience that they put those promos to, and everything like that. Like, we're the ones that scour the internet, we talk on message boards, we ask other people what's going on. Whereas, in their promo, they're like, oh, the biggest shocker of them all.
But there's no way that promo was not saying that's Neil. Like, unless you're that much of a casual fan that you forget this dude exists.
Well, either that or just you don't put that much thought into it. Because the same thing happened with Lost. There was the people who scoured the fucking internet looking for, any clue. And then there were the people who were just like, meh. I don't want to know anything. So they didn't do any research whatsoever. Hell, a lot of them don't even look at the preview for the next episode.
I want to say that the site that I go to get to the rumors and spoilers for once, I want to say that maybe recently. I usually check after we do the show. I look on the site, and not once did they really say suggest Neil. This season yet. Even in when it opened up with and broken or ended, the season premiere ended, I think, with him getting the postcard.
I think so.
Or something like that.
Oh, no. The season opened with him getting.
Okay, so it opened. So I think there was mystery there. Maybe he could be Bay until Tallahassee, and he was Neil. And then I don't think there was really. I saw any rumors really about him being Belvera until. Until that promo, and we talked about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, we called everything. The only thing that we didn't call was what was in the box, which was ridiculous in and of itself.
I was so disappointed. I'm like,
I know you're Balefire, but I can't tell you to your face. I have to show you something I typed on a fucking ancient piece of equipment just to prove it to you. That seemed so contrived. It seemed pointless for the cause of our show.
Yeah, there was no reason to it should have been an item of some sort. The knife, even maybe Pinocchio got the knife and then snuck it back into Storybrooke. Anything would have been better than that typewriter.
They could have Deus Ex Machina'd his past and showed him that he had a doll or something from Rumpelstiltskin, or Rumpelstiltskin had a doll of Bay's. And when everything went back to, the real world or whatever, he went and got that doll and brought that to Bayfire.
Yeah, it was.
The typewriter was stupid, but Rihanna and I were talking about it. We were happy with the way that the show was revealing things. We just weren't happy with the way they were revealing things. Everything got revealed in a good way.
The Storybrooke, or the fairy tale land stuff, the Rumpels, going to the war, that was good. That was fine. I'm talking the real world stuff.
It was good that things were getting answered. It was shitty the way they were getting answered. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's just all the real world stuff just seemed so contrived and stupid.
It all seemed because you knew Neil was the father to begin with.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But then you know that it's Bayfire, and now you know that it's Rumpel's grandkid. It all, and then
I was happy that that David and Mary Margaret talked about that.
Yeah, but it's... I don't know, it was the weakest episode this season. It may, to me, may be the worst episode they've done. I don't know if there was an episode in season 1 that I disliked as much. That was you.
That is my low point for this series.
This, honestly, may be the low point for me. And, I mean, the saving grace was the fairy tale land stuff with Rumple.
It was interesting to find out how he ended up escaping. And he's right. He wasn't really a coward. Like, he hurt himself to be there for his son, which his father never was.
And I don't look at that as being a coward at all. I would be far pressed to say I wouldn't do the same thing in his situation if someone told me, oh hey, you're gonna die and never see your son again.
Which doesn't sound like that was the case. It sounds like it was always his destiny to end up in that situation.
Yes.
It doesn't sound like he was going to die.
Exactly.
It sounds like it was...
the way she worded it, like, there's no reason to think that he wasn't going to die on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no reason for me to say I wouldn't do the same thing he would do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, it led to the same result,
mm-hmm.
but and that's where I think, like, and I don't know if he ever told Bay about it or Mira, but about the seer, but
she had a complete 180, by the way.
Yeah. Because she said you don't have to go to the war to prove yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And then he came back.
I hate her more and more. Mm-hmm. The more that
was
I see
it a different
her,
actress? It looked like it was a different actress.
I don't know. She didn't look the same, but maybe it was because she wasn't all piratey and stuff.
See, in that episode, I thought she was a total babe. In this episode, she kind of seemed homely, and I don't know if that's just because they made her more homely. Like she was a mother more than she was.
She proved again she's not a good, like, I don't like her as a person.
Yep.
Like the character is a horrible character for Rumple, and the fact that, like, prior to him going to the war, she seemed like she could have been a decent human being, but to have that 180, ridiculous.
Yep.
And then you can see how she transformed into the person we saw in the crocodile when. She was hanging out with Hook, and he ended up killing her.
See, it almost seems like...
But she didn't want to venture before that.
It almost seems like maybe something happened while he was gone briefly to make her look for any reason to hate him.
I don't know. I don't know if there's more story there that we're going to find out. Hopefully, because...
It kind of seemed out of character for a character we've only seen twice.
It seemed really out of character. And then, of course, there's the stuff that's happening with, Regina and Cora. I still don't like it. I don't think it's a play.
No, it seems like Regina has gone full 180 at this point again.
I mean, it seems like she's... Now, I can believe that there's a way she could do it to where Henry would believe that everything's all right. Mm-hmm. But, because, I mean, even... You heard Rumple himself say when he was the Dark One, well, he's still the Dark One, but in Fairy Tale Land, that I'll kill the boy. So it's like he wants to kill, he's willing to kill his own grandson. Now, I don't know, that look he gave is...
I feel like that's him kind of... He's got problems with it, like he's... things have just changed, because this whole episode, he was very friendly with Henry,
yes.
Which kind of leads... It paves the way for him to say, well, this is my family now as well.
Yeah.
And it's back in the day when he thought that, one little boy was going to cause problems for him, he was just like, well, it's just one little boy. Now it's become, I just realized this little boy is my grandson. And not only that, he's a good person.
Yeah. So that's what I love about Gold and Rumple is that he does use his threatening power to be an a-hole and, like, to get what he wants. But he's still, I think he's a decent person at heart. It's the Dark One's powers that keep him.
Oh yeah, because everything that he did, I mean, for the most part, is for his son. That we've seen so far, every choice that he's made.
Yeah, and prior to him becoming the Dark One, he was obviously a decent human being. Mm-hmm. He obviously was looked at as a coward because of what happened in the war, mm-hmm. but and then he was crippled. That's why he looked so weak as well, because he crippled himself for his son.
Yep. Like I said, everything. I would venture even what he did to Mila, he did for his son, because he was so sick of the idea that she would walk out on his son because of what he did.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily, because now he put Bay through the portal to avoid being part of the war, correct?
I think so. He was basically trying to rescue Bay.
So, I don't see... I understand that Bay is... Now, where did he go? Did he...
It sounds like he went just straight to Earth or whatever.
So, I don't understand how Rumpel's 900 years old. Unless time moves differently in Fairy Tale Land, but...
Well, I think for... Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I have no idea. I don't think...
Because it has been referenced that Rumpelstiltskin is 900 years old, right?
I don't know. I'm not really
sure. I
sure.
swear they've referenced that he's been around for hundreds of years. Unless they mean the Dark One.
Which would make more sense.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I mean, it sounds like... It sounds like the other thing. Like the Dark One is the one who's been around for 900 years or something. But either way. So, I mean, he obviously has some problems with his father.
And, I mean, rightfully so, I guess, because he was so young when he was transported away.
Plus, you have 25, 30 years of that thought in your mind. It begins to fester and change everything. Yeah. And you don't understand it clearly as, what was done.
Well, and we have a... we can look at the previews for next week.
Not next week.
What the hell, ABC?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, I hate that shit. Do what 24 does. Start later in the year. Start in January.
See, I understand the one break we had last week and the week before because it was football.
What I need is Lost got it down to a point where they took one break.
Mm-hmm.
They aired, say, 12 episodes, took a 6-week break, aired 12 more.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it was. They need to get on the ball with that. I'm okay with that. I can't stand...
Doing 2 episodes and then a week off, and then 2 episodes and a week
off. Why are they taking this week off? The Oscars or something?
I think the Academy Awards is this week, so it makes sense.
But they need to do it better. They need to come up with another plan.
Yep.
It angers me, Mike. It angers me.
I think that's the problem. It's a Sunday show. Maybe if it was a Saturday show, it wouldn't be so much of a problem.
It wouldn't be successful if it was a Saturday show. Alright, let's take a look at next week's episode.
For a second. Everything that Regina and Cora and Hook did regarding the dagger, like finding the library book reference and finding the map and just having the perfect person to read the map. Why? It seems too...
Yes, the map was a little flaky. I would have liked something else. It should have been a different kind of clue.
Mm-hmm.
I like the book. I like the book that wasn't there.
The book thing was good.
And I like that it wasn't there.
I don't like that Regina was immediately like, "Oh, I know what the book thing is referencing." Yeah. That was stupid.
But it was a weak episode, very weak. For me, I think it might be the weakest of all. But let's take a look. Do you know what next week's episode is called?
The Queen is Dead.
Yeah, The Queen is Dead, episode 15. Not next week, 2 weeks from Sunday.
It sounds like it'll be a Cora episode.
Yeah, probably.
Snow White's heart black as coal.
All new 2 weeks from tonight. They have been enemies forever.
All she wants is power.
Now, the mother of all evil.
She doesn't care about you.
And all that is good.
There's a war starting.
Will face off.
I will not let you win, not again.
And no one is safe.
There's got to be some way we can save you.
Once Upon a Time, all new Sunday, March 3rd on ABC.
Now, I think the important part about that promo is that we see that Hook gets his hook back.
We do,
but he might lose it.
Now, where is that Storybrooke? Think did Bay come back to?
Yeah, maybe because now that he knows he has a son.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that's what's getting him to go, because it's not Rumpelstiltskin.
You know what? Two things we glossed over for Manhattan was the opening title card.
I didn't even see it.
It was Manhattan. It was the skyline of New York City, and the Stranger got video of
And that's another thing that pissed me off.
Just so happened to be there. But I still like the idea of there being a stranger. Like, I still like... that storyline's still good. I'm glad they're kind of still pushing that forward.
I feel like the storyline is good, like you said, but the way they're presenting it is shitty.
Yeah,
I don't think that Regina would have ever been like, yeah, this is a good idea.
Well, but she doesn't know... Maybe... does she even know that the stranger's there? I don't think she does.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't think it's out of character for her to say that this is a good idea.
But even so, like her going through the purse like that and everything, where all she had to do was go deep, 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 bloop.
But she's not good anymore. She's using magic against. I can forgive that.
What I'm saying is, there's no reason that she couldn't have just gone. Meh, here we go. Nothing here, nothing here. It felt like it was. It felt like it was there just to prove that point.
Oh, well, yeah, you're absolutely right. But that is one of the things that I think is the least...
glaring problem.
Yes. In an episode full of problems, that was probably the least problematic for me.
Yeah.
That being said, it's kind of a short episode. When the episode is horrible, our versions of it, plus we had a lot. I think we're going to tune, for this show, for the podcast and video cast, we're probably going to reel in how much stuff we actually do, like we did, as far as...
For That's Entertainment?
Yeah, for Coming Soon and Kickstarter projects. Probably going to reel in just a little bit so we don't have to rush to, get to Owe It.
Yeah.
This week I think was a good week for it because it was shit.
Kind of crap.
Yeah, so when it's a good week, a good Owe It week, because when it's a good Owe It week, we can go 40 minutes on Owe It.
It's true.
When it's a bad week, fucking it sucked. I don't know what else you want me to say. It sucked.
It didn't suck, but it was definitely... I don't think any of the episodes really sucked.
All the episodes have
what made this episode better than Hansel and Gretel? I'll tell you what. Forward momentum. Because we got revelations, we got plans that people are going to do.
Maybe that's this week. I'll go back
and watch Hansel
Netflix
and Gretel.
Yeah, because season 1's on Netflix, so I'll go back to Hansel and Gretel, watch it, and see if I agree.
See why I hate it.
See if I can find some hope. See if I can find something to be like, Mike, this is why it's good. See if I find some redemption for the two little kids that almost got ate by a witch.
If you want redemption for that story, you go see the new Hansel and Gretel movie that's out in theaters now.
You can find That's Entertainment and Owe It on Facebook.com/TEntertainment. You can find us on @ThatEntertains on Twitter.com. Tweet with us. I surely will respond back. Mike will, maybe, I don't know.
Meh.
You can subscribe to both That's Entertainment and Owe It on iTunes. Just search That's Entertainment, search Owe It, find us on iTunes, rate us, review us, subscribe so you get all the downloads every week. You can go to youtube.com/Crude Humor Studios and watch this video cast. Available on Stitcher. Just search for Owe It again. It's the smarter way to listen to radio. We're on the Blubbery Network. Just go to blubbery.com and search for us there. You can email us at entertainment@crudehumorstudios.com. As you can see on the screen here if you're watching. But if you're listening, it's 267-223-4965. Give us a call, leave some voicemail, play it on air. Let us know what you thought of this episode and of Hansel and Gretel, that episode. Let me know what you thought. I think that's it. Check us out on tezone.net, the new website at oweit.tezone.net. So proud. We got a web domain and we didn't screw it up. For That's Entertainment and Owe It. I'm Kev.
I'm Mike.
We'll see you next time right here, only on tezone.net.